Cool. We're actually recording this time, so we just shot like an hour 10, hour 15, roughly, of no audio.
All good.
All good. We're back though, so
We're warmed up.
We got Alex Coates and Kyle Delveau.
Yeah, there you go.
Delveau.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
Cool.
I respond to just about anything.
Just about anything.
Hey guy works for me.
Hey guy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Guy
man.
with a beard. Yeah, appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah, happy to.
Mhm.
Really happy to hear it was a short drive for you guys too. I didn't know where you guys were coming from. He's like, I knew you were around.
Well, I came from Bettendorf, but yeah, he's in North Liberty, so he's like
Yeah.
20 minutes away. I'm like an hour away, so
It's not too bad at all.
no biggie.
Yeah. Plus, you guys are probably used to like for shows and stuff. So you're like, we're gonna go all the way over here, all the way over there.
Yeah. The last 3 weeks we've been working on a music video, so I like been traveling up and down towards Kyle back into the Quad Cities for
Yeah.
it's an hour drive ish. So
Yeah. And an hour's
No
not
big
too
deal.
bad.
whatever.
It's not a make or break,
No.
depending on your gas mileage and everything. But
Yep.
most cars are pretty
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
So I guess what new stuff do you guys have for the pod?
Yeah, so a couple announcements that I guess will have dropped pretty recent to when this episode airs.
Mhm.
But we have a line of shows in March that we'll be playing March 19th through the 22nd.
Yep.
And we also just announced that we'll be dropping a new song, Bear Witness, on March 8th.
Yep. Mm-hmm. March
So-
8th, new song and video. And that string of shows is the 19th through the 22nd. The 19th is going to be our kind of local show in the Quad Cities in Rock Island at Skylark with By the Thousands. They're the headliner. It's on their tour. The Descent is going to be their new EP. It's their release tour. And so we're just doing 4 days with them on the tour. But it's going to should be a fun time. It's the first time we played shows in like almost 2 years.
It'll be good to get back out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you guys had. When did I Was God blow up? From that TikTok video.
It was 2022.
So it's been longer since you've done shows since that blew up. So you guys have this big new following. They're like, oh,
We played like 1 or 2 shows after that video blew up.
It'd been pretty
And
recent.
it was pretty cool because there were people from like 2 or 3 hours away that were like telling us they found us on TikTok and were like stoked to see us in person. And that was just like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
But that was 2022 is when that like video of me in Guitar Center kind of did really well. It's just a little sarcastic video of me talking about how I work at Guitar Center, but my band sounds like this.
Yeah.
And I still have to, what did I say? My band sounds like this, but I still have to work at Guitar Center and pay rent.
Yeah.
And what you were saying last time was like, because people were like clashing in the comments, it just kept feeding the algorithm, which really, it helps you more than anyone. You're like,
dude.
I don't care.
Yeah, man. A lot of people were either like really had my back and were super supportive about like they went and followed my band and started streaming our shit. I'm sorry to swear in the first 5 minutes.
You're good. You're good.
Cut that out.
No, we're keeping it in.
We're
This is
losing all the
authentic.
ads.
I'm going to demonetize you.
That's fine.
But so people were, kind of talking shit in the comments. And also people were really supportive in the comments. So people were just like going at each other in the comments. And that was super helpful for the algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people were just like, Instagram was like, oh, people must really be into this video. Let's show it to more people. Yeah.
Who would have known that would be the secret sauce to
Yeah.
really get in the algorithm's favor is you just got to get people arguing.
Yeah.
Get the opinionated people feel like they need to chime in.
Oh, yeah.
And they did, which is, I mean, it works out. Even the haters like, bring it on.
It's funny.
Like that saying goes, any publicity is good publicity because it gets people talking about your band. And what was cool, I remember you were talking that you also got to last year when Ludacris came to Mississippi Valley State Fair.
Yeah,
Like
man.
so how did he actually find you?
Yeah. So the Money's So Big. I did a cover of a song called Money So Big by Yeet. And
Good band name or good artist name.
and so I saw a friend of mine, his name's John Rose. He's a guitar player for a band called Pathways. And he did a cover of that song on TikTok, and it did really well for him. And I saw it was all tapping. And so I was like, that's sick.
That's my domain.
I can do that.
I'm going to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And so I learned it and posted it. And I just thought it'd be a video like any other video. And, just get a couple likes here and there or whatever. And a month goes by and it did okay when I posted it. But a month later, for some weird reason, it just started to blow up. and people were sharing it like crazy, and I got all these crazy comments and stuff. And a lot of hip hop heads found it like as their first like guitar video, and people were in the comments like, "This is the first time I've ever heard guitar like that. This is crazy." And so it's got a lot of new followers and new people into the genre that we play too.
Yeah.
And it kind of carried over to the band, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been his producer found that video and hit me up, Ludacris's producer. His name is Gerald Keys. And yeah, he was interested in potentially using some of my guitar playing, maybe in the future Ludacris music. I'm not too sure. I can't really even. I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Yeah,
there wasn't an NDA, but there was.
I didn't sign anything.
Ludacris, if you want this cut out, let me know.
Yeah. But no, it's we'll see what that turns into. But yeah, he was like super courteous when he came through to the Mississippi Valley Fair because I messaged him, I saw he was headlining, and he went ahead and was super down to meet me and guest listed me and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Got to go hang out with him for a little bit. Just, briefly met him, and he introduced me to Lil Jon, and that was fun.
That's really sick.
Yeah, he was very complimentary towards us.
Oh yeah. I mean, part of my favorite part about the music getting out there to like hip hop and like rap heads that aren't as versed in like progressive metal was just hearing people's opinions about like guitaring. Like, this is the craziest guitar work I've ever seen, and not to like say that any of it's easy to do or anything like that, but I mean, within the progressive instrumental, any of those genres, like you're surrounded by such talented guitar players that you see the peak of what that looks like. And so it was really funny watching all the rap heads that with the money so big yeet, they're like, this is the craziest guitaring I've ever heard in my life. And even I don't know that you would have thrown this in there because you're modest, but when we walked up to Lil Jon and Ludacris initially, and Ludacris introduced Alex, is like, this guy right here is the best guitarist in the world.
that was pretty crazy. That was very nice of him to say.
Yeah.
But because I'm so exposed to like Jason Richardson and Aaron, from Intervals. I'm just in my head. I'm like, dude, you can have anybody that you want.
There's all these other really, really talented guitarists. But
Tosin Abasi, Tim Henson.
Even Logan Young, what he throws on Instagram,
He's
just
crazy.
like his 10, 15-second clips, just making the most inhumane sounds on a guitar.
Oh, dude, he's nasty.
Just playing on 9 strings. I'm like, man, I can barely play a 6.
Nastiness, yeah, man. Yeah. And Logan Young is a friend of mine now. We both play Kiesel and stuff. And a couple years back, he posted a contest about making a Thal riff. Who can make the heaviest Thal riff? And it's just like, I just tried to come up with something that was just nasty, a lot of chromatic notes, a lot of weird bends.
Yeah.
And posted that video on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. And it did really well on YouTube without any sort of promotion or anything. It's just a little 1.5 minute long clip. It did better than some of our music videos.
Yeah.
And so we decided to make that into a song. So that's going to be Bear Witness. That's out on March 8th. So we're excited to drop that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited because if the engagement that we had on YouTube, like you said, with no promotion, just here's a riff. I'm just going to leave this here and walk away.
Yeah.
How well that did.
Mm-hmm. So many people were asking us to make it a song.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I wanted you guys to make it a song. I'm like, when's that coming?
Yeah. No, we pushed it off because we had like others in the works and stuff, but we finally got around to it, and
we did it.
Yep.
It is a song coming out March 8th.
Finally. Yeah.
That's going to be really sick. I really hope it does work out for you guys, because that was just a great 1.5 minutes. Like, because I think it really came out when like Humanity's Last Breath really hit the charts, and people were like, holy shit, this is something crazy. Right?
Yeah.
It's something new. It's something fresh, because like a lot of stuff was coming over as like metalcore. Metalcore was being the thing, and now deathcore is being the thing. But I don't know. I like sticking around the fall stuff for like just like the really heavy deathcore, like Paleface Swiss. Just some nasty stuff that a lot of other bands don't do. Like when I hear a new sound, I get attracted to it. I'm like, oh, it's something new, something fresh, clean off the palate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So I guess, because I know you guys did like a lot more progressive metal stuff, but now transferring over into like Thal, do you guys want to like stick with Thal kind of stuff, or are you going to kind of blend that progressive metal fall?
It's all going to be all into one kind of thing. There's some shreddy riffs still for sure. There's absolutely a clearly defined chorus section, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, big melodic section. And then there's like a clean break. You know, it's a lot of stuff you've heard from us before. But yeah, the main riff is that Thal riff. So it's like just kind of our interpretation of a Thal song. It's funny we're using the word Thal because it just like means nothing. It's just like the sound you make when you go.
Yeah, well, it's like even with gent too, like that term came out of nowhere. Like I think Jared Dines coined that term and it just stuck. Yeah, and now it's a whole genre that people write in.
Yeah. But no, I mean, we're not really going to be a Thal band or anything like that. We're just going to
add it to the palette of colors you got going on.
Yeah, and I think we've always kind of tried to write like what's something new we can do. How can we? Okay, if we're going to do a chug pattern here, or say this is a breakdown, what can we do to make it not just a breakdown? Is that effects and like ambience in the background, or like what guitar sounds can we do that maybe we haven't done before? So we've always kind of been trying to modify our sound, and so it's not anything that we're consciously changing and it's like this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
whatever.
We'll have some melodic parts, we'll have clean breaks, we'll have all the same things we've always done, but at that same point we're refining it. We'll throw in some riffs that make people scratch their head.
Like how do you come up with that? Yeah.
I think what we do is whatever we're listening to at the time seeps its way into the song we're working on.
Definitely.
Whatever we're listening to actively just kind of seeps its way into like our writing style kind of. It's easy to get influenced by like a certain genre for like one riff and then let that sit and boil and then give it a week. And then you're like, okay, well, what do I hear next? And then you kind of dig into your traditional writing style and, you know, blend things together. Yeah.
Of course. I think that's a good segue into how do you guys collaborate? Like with being an hour apart, I can't imagine every session you guys work together is in the same room. So it's like,
no,
who does a lot of like the standing up, like, oh, I have this idea.
Yeah. So it varies from song to song, but oftentimes Alex will have a riff or two, or sometimes it's 3/4 of a song. And he's like, this is kind of what I've just laid down here, and he'll send it over to me if I have some ideas. I'll talk through it, and sometimes I'll be able to write a rhythm. And oftentimes, if I come up with a lead or melody or anything like that that's in the rhythm and lead guitar territory, Alex has to do some minor tweaks to make it, well, this is how a guitarist would actually play this, because I'm just translating from piano, but
just dialing it in a little bit. Yeah,
but it does vary from song to song, and we'll trade it back and forth. We've done a couple Zoom sessions, and we even did that with Bear Witness, the song on March 8th, the solo for it. We were just on a Zoom session, and because Alex, everything he lays down is cool, and so we're just talking through it, watching as he's recording it.
We did, no, the solo at the very end of the song, I think the song will be coming out, or I don't know, by the time this podcast is out. Anyway, the end of the solo,
soon to when the podcast comes out.
Yeah.
Kyle was talking me through while I was writing the solo, and he's like, you know, telling me like, okay, hold a couple notes there, and then, you know, wait for that part to kind of simmer, and then move on, and then shred here. And I'm like, this is so much more helpful than me trying to make my own notes as I'm writing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's helpful to have a second ear, a second opinion, and pros and cons to there just being two of us is we are each other's second opinion. So everything he lays down guitar wise is really cool. So me even just having very uneducated notes of, well, I kind of like that little phrase. So can you hang out on that phrase a little bit longer, or maybe accentuate that bend a bit more? Because like that sings to me, and then you can take off shredding again.
Yeah.
Stuff like that really helps me. It just gives me that extra bit of confidence that it's like, okay to like write a part, you know what I mean? Because when you're writing something, it's like there's infinite possibilities, and the first thing you pick, sometimes you don't always want to do the first thing you pick, but when somebody that you trust, like Kyle, tells me that sounds great, then I'm gonna keep it. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna waste my time trying to figure out, well, what would be better? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's really hard to hear yourself while you're playing. And I know with recording, you can just play it back, but even still to be objective on your own writing is very tough. So I think it's just helpful that we've been playing together since 7th grade.
Yeah.
So we've
That's
gotten to a
long
point that
done. Yeah.
like, if Alex tells me it's like that bass part sucks, not that I don't think you've said that. If you've said it, it's been a long time.
I'll try to say it nicer than that usually.
Yeah, that's terrible. Do it again.
I didn't really feel that part that you wrote.
But either way, we've kind of built up a relationship where neither one of us has a problem taking feedback.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's like one of the most important things. Like, I think when I was talking to state parks on the podcast, they're like, a big thing being in a band is having to not have a big ego with your parts.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, if someone's like, I don't think that fits great, but like, what if we took like half of that and then added like this little idea I got?
And usually that comes up with something even cooler.
Yeah.
A lot of times it does.
Yeah. Getting two brains on one section, just even if it's not your instrument, but it definitely helps with like, I feel would be the writing process. Like if because I do coding and stuff. So it's like when, my mentor comes along and he's like, great. He's a little more crass than not. So he's like, I don't know why the fuck you did it that way.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
thanks, dude. I spent 3 hours on that, but
yeah,
whatever.
These were my dreams, but
these are my dreams, but appreciate the honest feedback there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it all translates into everything you're trying to create in the world, right? Like different mindsets are going to have different opinions on things. So
exactly.
It's like, so I guess you guys started out with like a lot more members of Doppelganger, like especially with like the 2015 Heavy Fest back at Cole Ballroom.
Oh, dude, we had a vocalist.
We had 2 vocalists.
Probably.
We had 6 members at one point.
Yeah. No, that was absolutely.
Now we're down to 2.
Yeah, it's
what happened? What's the problem?
We're just terrible people, probably.
Yeah, nobody wants to play with us.
Yeah. No, it pretty much just is over the years, people, people get families, people get better jobs, people move, things like that,
lose motivation, become busy. Creative differences is I think the politically polite way to encapsulate it.
Yeah, pretty much. But Kyle and I have always been writing music since he said 7th grade, and that's about accurate. We played the talent show together in 7th grade, and
that's sick.
That's where it all started.
Played Iron Maiden, The Trooper.
Nice.
It can be found on YouTube if you search hard enough.
Yeah.
So we started writing music probably the same year in Guitar Pro, because I didn't know how to use recording software. My teacher, Billy, told me how to use Guitar Pro, I think. Or maybe it was you that introduced me to Guitar Pro. I can't remember at this point.
It could have been. I don't know.
Either way, Guitar Pro was a big part of our writing process, and it still is. Yeah. I just use a DAW, and then Kyle uses Guitar Pro more than I do, I think, because I write just complicated parts and it's easier to analyze when you have the tabs. So Kyle will write his parts based on my parts.
Yeah.
And it's easier for him when I have the tabs.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I mean, shit,
Yeah, progressive metal is not easy to figure out by any means.
Exactly. With all the different rhythms and all the crazy tapping and stuff. So
yeah.
But
I mean, sometimes too, by the time I'm getting a song, you're 3-4 riffs in, and maybe the part where the song currently ends is there's 4 layers on it. So it's like I can hear what's going on generally speaking, but like it'd be a lot more helpful if I could just see each of the notes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like Guitar Pro because if I'm writing something and it's been a long time that I'm coming back to, like right now preparing for shows, I can see like, oh, these are the exact notes I did for the fill, or even indicating like now that I'm doing a bit more hybrid picking, like, okay, so I guess I'm supposed to slap this note. Things like that where it's hearing it by ear can miss some of that nuance, but it's helpful to have it all just recorded and you can kind of dig through it easier. Additionally, like for writing purposes, it's really helpful for me because piano is like how I write all melody, because I started out on piano before bass. And bass is helpful for groove, but even as a bassist, I don't love bass solos. I think they just don't, it's not what the instrument's intended to do most of the time. So Guitar Pro is nice because I'll figure out, like the other day, for example, I came up with like a tapping kind of lead, but I figured it out on piano. And so Guitar Pro is nice because I can pull up a fresh file that then I can see where these notes would fall on a guitar, and then I can modify, like, okay, so we might need to change this up a little bit so it's actually playable. So Guitar Pro is really helpful for me for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Guitar Pro, endorse us, please.
Yeah,
I don't know
endorse
how that makes.
Doppelganger.
Yeah, let's sell Guitar Pro at the merch booth.
That'd be sweet.
Take a commission. or whatever.
That would be sick. I don't know. Have they ever done that?
I've never seen that before. I'm just joking.
It'd be sick though.
Yeah,
It would be. I got a Guitar Pro on my phone. Like I bought the app. I paid for it. I think it was like $10.
Yeah,
U.S. currency.
it's worth it.
I paid for it legally. Endorse us.
No, Guitar Pro is great though. But yeah, we've been writing stuff together since like 7th grade. So I mean, our writing process is pretty dialed in at this point. I would say, you know, one of us will come up with an idea and send it to each other, and then we'll just see where we go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it starts with, if I'm confident that I have like a minute worth of music, I'll send it to Kyle and be like, "Are you cool with this being the new song, like the next song?"
Mhm.
And usually 9 times out of 10, Kyle's like, "Yeah, let's do that." And so that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that we do that, like, I mean, we do Zoom talks. We talked about that a little bit. Like,
We'll have kind of like meetings almost where we're just chatting through like, what are you thinking for the next section? It's like, okay, well, we've done heavy. The song's really fast paced. So what can we do next that holds the momentum, but also doesn't feel like it's not getting old to the ear? So we'll talk through, even sometimes where neither of us have an instrument within reach. We're just talking through like just blanket ideas for what we want to accomplish with like future riffs and the rest of the song. So
yeah, I think a good question would be, how long does it take from like idea start to publishing the song take for you guys?
The new song we started writing. Oh God, does it count if we started writing one riff 3 years ago?
Yeah, because you wrote that one riff.
We wrote one riff 3 years ago. The YouTube, it's just called Thal with spaces between the letters.
Yeah, Thal. Go check it out if you haven't.
It's just a little video that's on. It's like probably 2 riffs, one riff, I think,
with
a clean intro.
Should I play it in the podcast right now?
Yeah, if you want.
That'd be kind of sick. Just like a little background video. Yeah.
Pose it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we wrote that like 3 years ago. And so then back in October of 2023, we started adding to it. And now it's March. Because we're doing the music video and everything. So
you're doing the whole enchilada. You're giving them a full course meal. You got
so
you got the refried beans and everything.
Yeah. But if we're on our grind,
so I guess
we could pump out a song and maybe a video play through within like 3 or 4 months, probably.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. I would say 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, and a lot of that, I think, the song itself can go pretty quick. It's just figuring out the release schedule and when you upload a song,
getting together the film, and
like figuring out how we want to just release certain bits of information and promote it. That stuff, I think, almost takes just as long as writing the song sometimes.
It does, absolutely. The promotion side of things is not my favorite, but it has been
equally important,
if not more important.
Yeah.
Because like those viral videos are the reason most of our following exists.
Yeah.
You know.
When did you guys start like heavily like figuring out like the promotion stuff to like play more in your favor?
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, 2 years ago, and it's a lot been, I think, trial and error.
Yeah.
Of just, this type of stuff tends to do better.
Mm-hmm. A lot of skits and comedy videos do very well on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Reels. Which is stuff I haven't been doing very often lately because I've been lazy. I like to post riffs, and that's my main thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing with social media is it's a new piece, at least for our generation, that if you asked me when I was in middle school what it would be like to be a musician, I would have never said that, like, okay, well, I've got to make my content and I've got to prepare that content. And I would have never, I was like, oh, you write music and you play shows and you got a record deal at a random concert and then you're famous.
And then you go on tour and then that's it.
And
happily ever after.
Success, check that box.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much as a modern day musician that revolves around content. And you really kind of almost need to know basic marketing in order to get your music out there. Because we can write something crazy that we're super proud of, but if 2 people hear it, we've just wasted our time and money getting that song recorded and put out there.
And that raises another point, is like, you have to be satisfied with the music itself, because it could be that 2 people only hear it, and like the point of it needs to be that you're happy with what you're releasing.
Yeah.
And so that's why we do take a while to record and write. So
has there been anything that you guys have put? Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Has there been anything you guys have put out that, looking back now, that I guess this would happen with any artist, even visual art. Is there anything you wish you could go back and change, like specific bits and pieces that you're like, my mindset's changed on this?
I don't know that there's a whole lot that it's like, oh, I like regrets in that ballpark, but I think there's more in just, things that we put out further back when we were still figuring things out, things that now that we know what we know, we probably could have promoted that better, or we could have maybe spent a little less time on this piece because it ended up not being as
crucial
useful.
as we thought it was.
Yeah.
So little things like that, but I don't have any big regrets or feel like there's anything that it's like, oh, I lose sleep over.
No, I wouldn't say there's any regrets with any of the songs. It's just it's interesting to see how, even though a lot of the songs are similar genre and similar in sound, they do better than one another for whatever reason. Sometimes the algorithm just doesn't play in our favor.
Yeah. Well, I Was God once, you had that TikTok video that blew up.
Oh yeah, dude, that was our biggest, still our biggest original song.
Yeah. So I think, is your biggest that Money So Big by you?
It's got like 1.5 million on Spotify alone.
That was crazy. Your audio got used by ESPN on a sports, the ESPN official channel on Instagram.
So funny.
Used your audio on one of their clips.
Just nutty stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did they reach out to you saying, hey, can we use this?
No.
But
that's fine.
Free
well,
publicity.
you're like, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I mean, gets me more attention. It's fine.
If 1% of their followers are like, that's a cool song, I'm going to click on that. That's still a hefty amount of ears that are then getting dragged our way.
Yeah, that video has so many comments talking about how they're like, they've never heard guitar like this, and they're going to go. There's a lot of people talking about how I bought my first guitar because of this video. And that's sick. That's so cool. It's so cool.
I guess what's been like the biggest reach out, or just like the biggest compliment you guys have received, whether it be in person at a show or through social media? Well, I guess the Ludacris reaching out to you is pretty sick.
I mean, that's crazy. Huge. Yeah, man. I mean, to me personally, it's like, the biggest compliment, I mean, it's always cool to hear people, like I just said, that they're just getting into guitar because of maybe a video I posted. And that's like getting them started into playing music. Like, that's the coolest thing, because you never know where they're going to go with their music.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like you're raising little tadpoles or something.
Yeah. And you just, and we were talking about earlier how like the world is so small in the world of music, because if you do something for long enough, you're going to run into other people who have done it for long enough and have made it their career and stuff, and you learn things along the way. But you never know where these people who are influenced by you are going to end up. But also what's really cool is like some of our influences follow us now on like Instagram, and
that's gotta be like the best feeling. You're just like, we did something.
That's so crazy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we never did anything else, like I could say we've been a successful band, you know what I mean? Because like we got my influences like Born of Osiris and Veil of Maya, and like I'm endorsed by the same guitar brand they play and shit, and it's like, good Lord, I could say I'm pretty much happy with as far as we got if we never did anything else.
Yeah. All the things that we wanted to do. And I don't even think we had really goals when we first started playing music together, other than just, well, I'm a bassist and I need to accompany somebody because bass isn't a solo instrument.
And guitar, needs to
like,
play with somebody else. So
let's let's just make music and start writing. So I think almost in the token of not having huge expectations, everything has just been we're so grateful for every single compliment that we get. And like you said, just the comments where people are like, oh, you inspired me to start playing guitar. That's huge. Hearing that anybody travels to our shows or goes out of their way to listen to our music, shares it with anybody, like all of that just...
Yeah, it's not something you would imagine.
That means so much.
Yeah, I mean... We always of course, every musician hopes that happens.
Yeah.
But, it's like to
you
see
don't
it,
expect it.
See it happening is just like fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, you're just like, we've motivated someone to do something.
Yeah. Dude, absolutely.
And
I
think at this point we've been around enough, we've done enough that I think worst case scenario, if we did end things, I'd be able to sit there in my rocking chair at 80 and be like,
Yeah.
watch
That
this
was a good
video.
one.
You think you can shred? Listen to
Yeah.
this. Back in my day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We actually had to play guitar.
Yeah.
We couldn't just use really, really futuristic VST and AI algorithms to write us riffs. We had to tab each of those notes out.
We had to walk uphill both ways for
Exactly.
those riffs. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, isn't it crazy like how many VSTs are coming out just for people like I wouldn't
they're
even say
so
it's
good.
I wouldn't even
is.
say it's really shortcutting. I think it's I don't think AI is a diminisher of certain art forms right now or even coding. Like there's all kinds of AI that can just you can feed an idea and it'll spit out code in whatever language you want.
I think it can be used for good or evil.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
could be just like with anything.
Exactly.
You can take your guitar and smack someone in the head with it.
yeah.
You know, it's
You know.
like
With power comes responsibility.
Great power, Spider-Man. I do have to use the restroom. I'm so sorry.
yeah, you know, I might have to follow you after that one,
Yeah.
Kyle. You might you guys might have to be leading the podcast, or you could be plug hour.
Hey, I'll just talk. I'll try some comedy routines.
Yeah.
Try out some material.
Yeah,
But no, just the way VSTs have progressed, it's really just helped with our workflow of things quite a bit too. Because just recently I got a nice bass VST,
nice.
and I still like playing. I still like recording, but sometimes I'll get an idea, and that musical inspiration can die
Yeah.
in just an instant. It's so the quicker you can get to writing and to get that idea out there before you lose it, the better in my mind. So like this bass VST, we're not going to put out a song. Maybe I shouldn't talk so absolute, because maybe there'll be a situation where it
Yeah.
sounds cool to have VST bass on something. But just being able to get something laid down and have it sound pretty dang close to how like recorded bass would sound. And I don't have to plug in my bass. I don't have to tune it up. I don't have to get levels. I don't have to put the plug in on the, I don't have to do any of those steps. I can
Yeah.
just open the plugin,
Yeah,
punch in the notes that I want to do, and just I can hear it in real time. So
I even feel like that could be used for just like expanding your sound.
Yeah.
with bass, because like these VSTs have their own presets and stuff plugged into them. People make presets. You can make your own,
yeah,
and it's not even like it's not a hack. People might look at VSTs as like a hack, like.
Mhm.
Even with the presets Gojira gives, or not Gojira, sorry, Neural DSP.
yeah,
I just use the Gojira one a lot.
that's a
Oh,
good
yeah,
one.
dude.
Killer
it's
that
great.
Gojira X is
It's great.
insane. I love
Um,
it. But it's like, I don't know. I like the presets, but then I'll be tweaking them and stuff. Like, how can I make, because it's like every guitar has different pickups, and that plays a very crucial sound into what you get in your DAW or through your speakers or whatever you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's just another tool in the tool belt, really.
It is. Yeah.
You can just play around with it. But I think I'm going to use the restroom now, and you guys can have plug hour. Or I guess real quick before I go to the bathroom, if you guys see this pink hat, that camera's not pointing at me. If you guys see this pink hat and you want to be cool like me, tell Doppelganger to make some more. 'Cause you guys
Yeah.
are out right now, right?
Yeah, man, we're out of beanies.
Out of beanies. Are you guys going to make more for the upcoming mini tour?
Yeah, well, we've got 2 merch ideas for the new mini tour.
Nice.
The new little 4-day run. We're gonna do the artwork for Shinigami on a white long sleeve.
Nice.
Because of the background of that artwork is white, so it kind of ties in. And then we're gonna do a little maroon T-shirt as well. That's double-sided with our logo on the pocket, no pocket, but that area, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
logo on the back top, and then the artwork for Bear Witness.
Which may or may not be out by now.
Yes.
So you may have to wait to see what that artwork looks like.
Yeah, but we're gonna have new merch, a couple new merch items.
That's sick.
Not the beanies though, but we probably should do
beanies.
more one.
Yeah.
That or even just like a hat.
Yeah, man, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because
we
like I'm
talked
a big hat guy. Too.
Yeah,
about doing like a flat bill or like a
Flat
dad
bill
hat,
or
something like that.
something like what you're wearing.
Yeah.
no, that's a great idea. We definitely need more merch. I mean, as we book more shows, I mean, I think it'll probably be more worth it to get some more merch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess what are the cut rates versus buying something like online through a website you stand up or versus in person?
I mean, you just there's a lot more profit when you can buy the stuff in bulk first and then sell it on your own versus using I guess they're called like drop shipping websites, basically, that'll make the stuff for you and then they take their cut and then they give you. What we were seeing is if we charge like, I don't know, $20 for a t-shirt, we probably get like $5 at the end of the day or something like that.
If that, sometimes it's even less.
Totally depends on the place you're going through, but
Yeah.
we're just doing it kind of the old school way where Nar City, custom printing in the Quad Cities, has been doing our stuff for a long time, and we're going to do that again with him. So
Yeah.
Nice.
we're just gonna get like 100 shirts, 50 of each design, and it's usually a better price.
Yeah. Let me know when you guys come up with them. I would definitely will buy from you guys. So
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I guess plug wherever you want, talk about wherever you want. Don't get me canceled while I'm in the bathroom.
All right.
That's all I ask.
Yeah, man.
So what's your biggest hot take?
Let's see here. Let me think.
What's your most controversial opinion?
Well, the earth is round, as far as I remember, learning in school.
Yeah.
No, but I guess we could probably plug our Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we could.
So follow us on Instagram. My Instagram is coates.alex at instagram.com, and same thing with TikTok. And Kyle, I think yours.
Mine's, I think, jkyle.delveau, I think, at Instagram. I should know my handles by now. TikTok is Kyle Plays Bass. There might be periods in there somewhere.
No, that sounds right.
And then our band accounts, it's Doppelganger QC. Is that right for Instagram?
Yep. And it's Doppelganger Official for TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is confusing as hell.
Yeah. But the nice thing is if you find one of them, we usually have a link tree that then has everything else.
At least we've got that going on.
If at least one of these plugs is correct, we've got to win.
You'll find us.
You can find everything else.
Just look for our faces. We're out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But Doppelganger Official is TikTok and YouTube. And then Doppelganger QC is our Instagram.
Okay.
Yep.
I see. I'm even learning new things here.
Yep. We're letting the people know.
Right. And yeah, if you find our stuff through here, say hello, comment on a video, comment on a post.
Tell
us where you found us.
Yeah, come out to our shows. We're playing, let's see here, Rock Island, Illinois, March 19th.
Yep.
We're playing Fargo, North Dakota, March 20th. And then the next day, March 21st, we're playing Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yep.
And then March 22nd, we're playing Lincoln, Nebraska. And that is going to be the 4-day run that we're doing up here in March. So come say hi. We want to see you guys out there.
We do.
Go see them.
We have not played in like a year and a half, so forgive us if we miss a couple notes.
Yep. Tell us about it.
But just come to the merch table and tell us how bad we were after you paid to get your ticket in there.
Yeah. At that
Give
point.
your money, then tell them they're bad.
Yeah.
I mean, feedback is appreciated. If you hate it, tell us why.
Yeah.
If you love it, also tell us that.
Oh man. I haven't gotten through this one yet.
I'm probably going to chill on this one, but
Okay.
following the lead that I started, I'm also going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's the joy of breaking the seal.
We were just plugging our social medias in the
Yeah, that's fine.
in the dates for the show. Here, I'll grab that. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course.
Hooking us up on the Twisted Tea. Remember that
Trying
viral video of that guy getting hit in the face with the Twisted Tea in the gas station? Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
That's immediately what I thought of when you're bringing up Twisted Tea.
You're like, he's gonna smack us in the face.
Yeah, dude, no, he gets destroyed. There's so many memes.
Someone got a little twisted in the head.
Absolutely.
Just smacking someone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it was viral. I think that probably helped Twisted Tea sales. I wouldn't be surprised. It was, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You know, it'd be even cool if like merch designs, like that little laptop case right there. Like people just on Etsy will be like, oh, here's like a laptop case.
Oh.
And so like this A right here,
Mm-hmm.
followed with, so this is Sleepwaker.
Okay.
One of my favorite bands that ever existed. Not to plug them in your guys' podcast here, but
All good.
yeah. So it's like you can enter, and be like, oh, this is what I wanted to say, and it's supposed to look like a little cassette tape, whatever.
Oh, that's neat.
So it's like if you guys wanted to, just be like team up with like an Etsy shop, be like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
and just say, oh, if you guys want like a Doppelganger cassette tape laptop case,
That's pretty neat.
then you can just upcharge $10 from that
Man.
and just not say anything.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's like, you can find ways like that. Or be like, hey, if we buy like 10 to 20 of these, can you guys give us a discount?
Sure. Yeah, man. No, yeah, we definitely need new creative merch ideas. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about some other ideas like Oh, there were some crazy ones that we were coming up with recently. I don't remember. I don't even know if we want to say Michaela's
merch ideas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the joy of throwing together ideas is you get the luxury of weeding out the bad ones. So not every idea is a good one.
Yeah.
Did I don't know if we've talked about it on this take of the podcast yet. But have you talked about it feels like the stars aligning with newest video?
The artwork?
Yeah.
And the video, yeah.
Yeah. Let's brief over that again.
Yeah. So the Bear Witness video was shot in Davenport at this mansion that we got to rent, and we found like the artwork is going to be the scale, like these balancing. It's like a scale,
like a scale of justice is.
And it's we just thought it was really cool looking. We saw it sitting there in this one room that we were filming in, and we decided let's put that in the background of like a shot with Kyle in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did. And then by the end of the filming, we were just like, what if we just make that the artwork? Because we thought it looked pretty cool. And Joe is a talented artist, so we figured he could take a good picture of that and just turn it into the single artwork. And that's going to be on one of our t-shirt designs that we just mentioned a minute ago as well. But the thing about that is we were going to have Joe make a 3D rendered dragon skull in some way or form. And he showed us a little demo of what he had, and it was looking cool, but we didn't like finalize anything. And the reason we were doing a dragon skull is because Kyle named the song Bear Witness because of a phrase in Elden Ring, right?
Yeah. Have you played it?
I played a little bit, but then I realized I am not that much of a hardcore gamer. Like,
yeah. I'm not either. It's the first of that franchise that I've played. I haven't played any of the Dark Souls one.
Yeah.
But
I think I just have PTSD from Dark Souls where I'm like, I'm not going to be Elden Ring.
They'll hand it to you over and over and over again and not give you any bonus lives or anything.
No, it actually makes you worse as you die. And it's just a punishment.
Oh yeah.
One of the bosses in Elden Ring, I haven't played it myself, but he was telling me, and he showed me the video, the cutscene where the boss basically takes a dead dragon head and animates it onto his arm and uses it as a flamethrower. And so it's kind of like a Phoenix Rising kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
but he has this real big like monologue beforehand, and basically just the short of it is that he's about to fuck you up in historic fashion, and the last lines of his speech is "bear witness," and then he proceeds to kill you over and over and over again. So with how heavy the song was, "Bear Witness" made sense. And
absolutely.
So "Bear Witness," it just so many things were lining up with it, because that was a song title that makes sense with the feel of the song. And we initially talked about a dragon because it's a direct reference to the game.
Yeah.
And so then we found the scale.
Yep.
Which bear witness to most people's ear, they think of like in a law setting. Like if you bear witness, you're casting your testimony. So the scales of justice, it all lines up. And then we found out when Joe was taking a picture of the scale that there was a dragon imprinted on the scale. Yeah, which is just like all of these things lining up so perfectly.
The arms that are holding up the two like cups or whatever, those are dragons.
Yeah. That's really sick.
Yeah.
And you know what 2024 is?
It's apparently
You're the dragon.
I guess. Yes.
Yeah. We just found that out the other day. So stars are aligning.
Stars are aligning by some miraculous stroke of coolness, I guess.
So we're hoping that means something. Hopefully the song does well.
Right. Watch it just flop harder than anything.
Your viewership in China is just gonna skyrocket.
We're going to go tour China right after we do the Midwest for 4 days.
Well, what's crazy is like, didn't China like last year get hit with like 3 earthquakes in like the same week?
That's rough.
Really, they got destroyed. And what sucks even more is like, so I have one of these online gaming buddies I play CSGO with. I'm one of those degenerates that play Counter-Strike.
You're good.
I got pretty good at it for a little bit, but this guy, I mean, he almost went pro. Like he was top of the line guy. Like I have no reason to be playing with this guy. So he's over in Turkey, and they got hit with like 2 earthquakes back to back, and he was like part of like not the rescue team, but the cleanup help crew and stuff. So it was like neat to hear about like that and stuff, because like living in really any country, they won't display like international news where they're like, oh, here's what's going on here, here's what's going on there, which that's kind of why I like independent journalism, because they'll go and talk about whatever, but it's nice to have like friends scattered about, they'll just talk about it, like, oh, here's what's happening over here, right? Because like you get so locked into your own world.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's like, this is kind of sad to say, but hearing about other people's tragedies, like, well, my life's not terrible.
Yeah.
And it can help you get out of that mindset that,
No, I
helps
agree.
cast
Who
some
me?
perspective.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's horrible to hear about those earthquakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's why we live in Iowa. Only tornadoes.
Right.
Yeah. That or derechos that come through. Man,
It's just every once in a while we'll get a random land hurricane.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Did
right?
that derecho mess you guys up?
Yeah, my mom's garage got hit with a tree that eventually had to get taken down because it was a dying tree, turns out. But
Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
yeah, so went without power. Oh yeah, went without power. Went and stayed at a friend's house and got COVID during that time.
Derecho set you up.
The
Yep.
1-2 punch.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
insane. That's really tough. Were you good with the derecho?
Yeah, I was pretty good. I see the thing that was so shocking to me is I hadn't heard anything about it. Like there was no warning. At least maybe I was just ignorant to the weather and the forecast and stuff, but I didn't hear anything about it happening.
Until it just hit. You're like,
Yeah, and
What
I was
happened?
working at my job and I was working with individuals with brain injuries, and one of the guys like is insistent on going outside for his smoke breaks, and we have to go outside with him just because of the nature of things. And so I walk outside and it's like, what is going on? Like this weather is just like,
Damn.
some of the lawn chairs were like flying over into the neighbor's yard. It's like, I think we should go
This is
inside.
I think the smoke break's getting cut short.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to call this one early. And of course, he was argumentative about it. And he's like, "You can blow into the ditch if you want to, but I'm going to go inside.
I'm
I'd
going
prefer
inside.
you
I'll
come
watch you from inside.
with. It'll be less paperwork for both of us if you just come inside too."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was insane. I think you're right though. There was really not much
No.
warning. I think the radio had so at the time I worked at this like blue collar facility in Walcott, Iowa, and so we had like these open bay doors and everything. And on the radio they're saying, "Oh yeah, it's hitting Iowa City right now." Like it just came out of the blue in Iowa City, and being a little bit more east by like the Quad Cities, you had about.
I think we had a little bit of a warning.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Iowa City just kind of got crapped on for a little bit
Yeah,
there.
it got smacked hard out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's like, so yeah, like being in North Liberty too, that's in the same.
I think Cedar Rapids got hit really bad.
Yeah,
Cedar Rapids was the worst.
There were parts of Cedar Rapids that were without power for almost a month.
It's crazy.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, and
just
I remember
how does that
hearing
even
it.
happen?
Yeah. I remember hearing like a statistic that Cedar Rapids lost like 60% of its like tree cover just in that one day. And I mean, about a week after it happened, my wife and I drove up to Cedar Rapids for a restaurant, and it looked terrible. Driving down the roads, you see like the fully uprooted, like the root system sticking out of people's yards. Like you see just the broken off trees everywhere. It was, I mean, it looked like a natural disaster had just occurred.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like, how's, you don't hear about this happening in Iowa like ever.
No.
It's like, that's why people want to live here, because the worst you got to deal with is a random tornado that very rare will do something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because like I've lived here my entire life, never even seen a tornado. I hear about them
Yeah.
occasionally, but it's like you don't really see any natural disaster here.
No.
So it's just like, I don't know, maybe that's why. It was something actually, this is totally off topic to anything about the podcast, but something I found out recently, because I'm trying to like be smart with my money and stuff now that I have a big boy job. It's like, well, what states have like some of the highest property taxes? And Iowa's in like the top 5. Which
Really?
is crazy. And guess what like the lowest is? You would never guess. Never guess. It's Hawaii.
The
Really?
lowest property
Yeah.
taxes? Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Maybe that's because the cost of living is so high there that for
It
your
might
$10
be.
gallon of milk, you could we can't afford to charge
Yeah.
people anymore on their taxes.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I just thought that was just insane to me. I'm like, why Iowa for like one of the top 5?
That's surprising.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very surprising.
Yeah. And then like Texas isn't like one of the lowest, but that's a given. Just looking at Texas and stuff. But yeah, I guess let's get back on track with the podcast
Sure.
here. So we did the new stuff, the new show days song coming out, Bear Witness, March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know when this is gonna come out, but somewhere close to then. Will you guys have the merch designs out in like a week or two? Or
Yeah, we're releasing the single with the announcement post.
We're gonna announce the song
Yeah.
with the artwork. Let's see here, next Monday.
next Monday,
And
this coming Monday,
Tomorrow.
or the fall 8 days.
So 8 days.
Okay.
Tomorrow, however, the tour By the Thousands is announcing their tour, and
Nice.
we're on 4 days of that tour. So we're
Nice.
the 19th through the 22nd of March. And that's going to be fun. We're going to be playing with our new fill-in drummer. His name's Tim Gorman from, I don't remember, honestly, if we talked about this on this recording.
Of this rendition of this.
So I'm just going to say it again. His name's Tim Gorman. He's from Michigan. Gorman. He's from Davison, Michigan, the Flint, Michigan area, and very talented 22-year-old drummer. I saw him on Instagram because he started, I think, following the band and me, and I just clicked on his name and saw that he was covering some Reflections and some other crazy bands with blast beats and double bass, and I was like, yeah, he could probably play Doppelganger.
Dude's got chops.
Yeah.
So I hit him up and was like, hey man, would you be interested in playing for us? Because we don't have a drummer and we want to play shows soon. And he was like, I was like, can you learn the song I Was God Once? Because that's our like most popular song and we're going to play it live for sure. So let me know what you think. And he was very stoked to be able to do that and got back to me before I was off my shift at work. He sent me a video and like of the first minute and a half of the song, and he just killed it.
Yeah.
And like a nice high quality video of him recording his drums like himself and editing the video himself and sending it to me within like 6 hours is like this.
That's fast.
He's
turnaround.
Dedicated as hell. Yeah.
And it's not like we sent him an isolated drum track. Like he just learned it all by ear from just the official track.
Yeah. Yep.
Because Chris helped with I Was God Once. So so I guess just for glossing over how Tim Gorman learned the drums, Chris didn't provide like any MIDI.
No, it was he just by ear is what he's doing. I mean,
Gotcha.
we don't have any MIDI tracks of those older songs. We do of the 2 new songs, but I believe he's learning everything by ear. He's just killing it. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he's posted actually, if you look up Tim Gorman Doppelganger covers, he's already posted covers of I Was God Once, Plumbus, and The Way She Goes. Because those are
I feel like those are at least for the self-titled album. Those Plumbus and The Way She Goes is probably like
those are the 2 we picked from that album to play on the new show that we're doing. So
I also like Best Case Ontario too. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. We were thinking about adding that one, but we're just going to keep it to 5 songs so he doesn't have to kill himself during these. During like learning our 5-song set is intense enough.
Yeah,
like we don't want to push him too hard, but he could, I'm sure. But
and truth be told,
yeah,
Worst Case Ontario made it into our set list like the moment we finished writing the song.
It's
so
been
we played that for so long.
Yeah.
And it's a good song. It's, don't get me wrong, but
we've
got other songs that it's like, let's try something else for a little while.
Because we've got like 3 new songs we've never played live yet.
Yeah.
We're about to play Shinigami live for the first time. We're about to play Born of Osiris.
We're playing Born of Osiris' set list.
Are you going to play For Granted?
Bear Witness.
Gotcha. I would love to hear For Granted once.
We played
that
For Granted live like twice, and that was probably 2022. We actually, the vocalist from Guilty of Treason, he came out and did vocals for us.
Yeah, he hopped on
for that song because we were playing the same show together.
Nice.
And that's on YouTube if you look that up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we should link that in the description.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
That or play like a small little clip in the background right now. That'd be sick.
Yeah, dude. That was a good show. That was our second to last show that we played. So yeah, it'll be nice to get back out there. But we're not doing For Granted in the set this time. It's just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. Plus having a vocalist too, it's like people haven't. So here's what I actually really liked with that song. You guys put out the main song music video
and the instrumental version.
Yeah. So I listened to both today, and to be honest, like what's nice is, like you guys were saying, I don't know if it was in this take of the podcast, but being an instrumental band, you kind of have more flexibility with here's the story. If you guys do like a more story music video, like you guys were saying you're doing the new one with.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of nice to have that flexibility rather than here's some vocals. Now you're kind of limited to a single path here. Right.
The new video we're doing, we didn't talk about it this time, but the song, we mentioned it's based after the Elden Ring dragon, thing, which is cool that it's like a dragon rising from the ashes,
Yeah.
But the video is a lot more. It's a pretty emotional video. We have an actress and an actor in the video, and it's based on the stages of grief. Myself and Kyle can relate to that, going with some family stuff that we've had recently. So I think a lot of people will be able to relate to the video too. But being without vocals means that people can interpret this video however they choose to. So
Exactly.
I like keeping our art open to interpretation. It's nice that we have our own personal connection to it as well, but it's cool that people can have their own interpretation of whatever we do.
Yeah.
So,
It definitely offers more of an avenue for people that have different takes, be like, oh, this is what I got out of it. This is what I got,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just getting different feedback. Be like, this really resonated with this part of my life or whatever.
yeah.
It's like it offers more, like I said, flexibility with interpretation. I feel like I'm repeating words here. No, Twisted Tea is doing a number.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I feel like really, really excited to see where you guys take this one. Like you guys were saying,
Thanks, dude.
when you put out the original riff,
Yeah, the fall riff.
the fall riff, you said Logan Young was putting out like this. Here's a
Contest.
fall competition.
Yep.
You put a little submission in there, and just organically that video did numbers on YouTube.
It's still one of our most viewed videos. It's better than some of our music videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, why? Why that one?
Yeah, it's always the ones you don't expect.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just like the Money So Big video, I never expected that to be our most viral video ever.
Yeah.
But it is. So I just learned that thing in like a day and posted it, and I was like, oh, this would be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But didn't know I was going to do that well.
You guys ever thought about doing like more stuff like that? Just even doing a bass line over a Kendrick song or something.
Yeah,
Because I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking about that now. Like
we've played around with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like it's something new content wise that
Yeah.
you guys could do and just play around with it. And still, because like you guys like listening to hip hop and stuff, and it also provides an avenue where you guys are putting out something fresh for
Yeah.
your viewers to listen to. You're just like, I really liked when you did like a lot of the bass videos and stuff, or just
Oh,
like
yeah.
messing around or just making your stereotypical social media videos and stuff. It's like just seeing how both your guys' creative minds work differently with your individual post.
yeah,
Mhm.
Kyle's really good at making those skits and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he was
Yeah.
doing those bass, like the different bass players, and he shaved his face for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that video?
Yeah, I did. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Well, I had to make the most of that. I had to clean shave for work. So it's like, I'm at least going to get some content out of this, and I'll shave it off in stages and
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
a riff that corresponds with the matching facial hair.
hmm
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Alex has got the virtuoso type talent, and so it's like I might as well find humor in it and make some of the funnier skit content or something. But
That's
Yeah.
the stuff that does real well is the comedy stuff. People
Yeah.
people always share that stuff. That's
Yeah.
like almost a given. Like anytime I do a SpongeBob, I do those little.
Yeah.
I've been SpongeCore is a thing that's been around on YouTube for a long time, and basically what he did is he used to just sample SpongeBob like quotes and stuff and use screaming from SpongeBob and like the characters yelling "my leg" and stuff as vocals to like a deathcore song.
Yeah.
So what I did is I basically take the audio from a SpongeBob clip and I'll do the syncopation with the drums along to what they're saying and stuff and just make a little riff out of it. And
Yeah.
those videos always get a lot of shares because it's just kind of humorous or just fun or whatever.
Yeah.
And they do a lot better than our original riffs do usually.
yeah, it's
It's funny.
Just because it's more fun, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pop culture thing, right?
Yeah.
You're playing along to pop culture, which.
And people stop and rate, oh, SpongeBob. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
They see SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And then whoever this guy is, right?
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah.
You're there for SpongeBob.
it's
But-
really easy to share memes. It's a little bit harder sometimes to share riffs.
Absolutely.
So we
But-
got to sneak in some of our original music between the funnier
Yeah.
content that people can
Yeah.
send off.
I'm gonna have to turn one of those SpongeBob riffs into a song at some point because people have been requesting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like the soiled it one. You remember that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's just like soiled it, soiled it.
It makes for a
People are,
tasty riff.
it's a knocked loose. It's basically a knocked loose riff.
Yeah.
And people are asking me to put it on Spotify. I'm like, put what on Spotify? This is 12 seconds long. Like they're not going to accept this. I don't know.
Because you guys use DistroKid to put
Yeah.
stuff on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even people made that remix of Knocked Loose with Gary.
Oh.
You're gonna finish your
Yeah.
dessert and you're gonna and just
Same vibes,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And that blew up, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's even funnier. So it's like I know you've been doing a lot of like the person that comes to mind that also does this is Isaac Stolzer Gary,
Oh, dude. Yeah.
the community manager for Strandberg, which is so funny. So I podcast with him. I'm like, oh, this guy makes funny content on Instagram. Super amazingly charismatic guy.
He's
Like,
a nice dude.
he
Yeah.
is just anytime I talk to him, he's just like always happy to talk to him. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm nobody in Iowa, but he's just still super nice. Like
That's
how you're
awesome.
saying Ludacris and Lil Jon were you guys, which is cool. It's like you see these people on the internet, you're like, well, how are they in person, right?
Yeah, man. It's like
Yeah.
cool to see that they're down to earth people.
Yeah.
And everything.
So it's like when you start doing like Isaac's riffified type stuff, I'm like, dude. Like,
well, dude, he was the first one I've ever seen do that.
Yeah.
There's this other guy, John. I was just telling Kyle about Abiotic, John Abiotic on Instagram, or maybe it's Abiotic John. Sorry, John.
Sorry, John.
But so it's all the Johns.
It's all these Johns with the last
Kyle's name is John, actually.
John and John sit on
complicated.
that side of the table.
But so anyway, all those riffified stuff, I think it came from Isaac really, because But John is from Abiotic is another one, and he just got shouted out from Always Sunny in Philadelphia for doing one of those riffified riffs.
Nice.
Like they commented on, like the actors commented, and the main profile act commented.
That's really sick.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like one of the things I found out recently is like I don't know if you guys know like Tom Segura and Christina, whatever her last name is, Christina P.
Yeah.
But so Isaac did it like a riffified over like
They
one of
played
their segments. Yes, they played it on the podcast.
Did you see that they played Chaney Crabb from Entheos on there too? Did you ever see that? Do you know
No,
do you know the band
they're from
Entheos?
Des Moines, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think she used to live in Des Moines.
The vocalist.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Chaney Crabb.
Chaney Crabb.
They played some of her videos on what's it called? Your Mom's House.
Yeah. What a great podcast.
Isn't that so
It
cool?
is.
Yeah.
But they're like big supporters of her now, so it's like
That is really
just
sick.
crazy. And did you see Drake followed them too? Entheos?
Entheos?
They followed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's craziness.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but something weird in the air.
Future Entheos Drake collab.
Something weird in the air with hip hop and metal these days, and prog metal.
I feel like
Yeah,
Davis.
because you were saying that potentially Ludacris might do something with you, which would be sick, really.
I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I've sent him some demos and stuff, and he's digging everything I send him. And but so far, I haven't heard anything back from his producer. But I mean, he's a busy guy. He's in these new commercials. He's got movies to film. Yeah, exactly.
Fast and Furious 15.
Yeah, dude. But it's crazy that big artists like that are kind of dipping their toes in the prog metal world.
Yeah, it's really sick because it's like I think what the world needs more of. And I've been talking to like a lot of bands.
Sometimes
One of my favorite concerts was that Monuments one I talked about in the last.
Oh yeah, dude,
on the
Monuments.
podcast.
John Brown and Ollie Steele.
John Brown, Ollie Steele. Wish he was still in the band. I still wish Chris Barretto was in the band too. I love Andy Sizik, but I think just for me, I love Andy Sizik. I love the other bands he's in too, and just his solo stuff on YouTube even. But Chris Barretto really sold the whole Monuments thing. I think that's just because I got so obsessed with
singer.
the creator.
That's when I got into him.
Great singer.
Yeah, just the Menuensis is one of my favorite albums, and even the the artwork on that. So I was talking to Isaac Soldier Gary about this, and I'm like, that's one of the sickest like artworks I've seen for albums, the Menuensis. And he's like, yeah, so it's, and he figured it out. He figured out the whole thing behind it. So I don't know if you guys know this, and I didn't at the time of podcasting with Isaac, but he told me, he's like, yeah, so I talked to John Brown about this, and he's like, yeah, I think it's, and Isaac's telling John this, I think it's two hands drawing out the album. So there's these pictures in a circle, and every picture, every section is a different artwork for every song. And so it makes full circle of the album.
Okay.
Oh,
And I'm like, that's really freaking neat.
That's smart.
I'm gonna have to look at that closer when we're done.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, it's very interesting how they came. I don't even know how they came up with that artwork, but it's sick.
Well, I remember the music. No, the lyric video is rotating like the circle, I think.
Yeah.
One of the lyric videos.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
But that's some really crafty thing. That's kind of like an Easter egg. We're playing Call of Duty Zombies now, apparently.
Yeah.
With music.
Well, we have the same thing with the scales. It's in the background of the music video for Bear Witness.
Yeah.
And it's also the artwork for Bear Witness.
Yeah. And the little dragon skull and everything from the Elden Ring thing.
Yes.
It's
Still Easter eggs if you're paying real close attention.
Yeah. Stuff we didn't even really do on purpose. That's just now Easter eggs.
Yeah. See a couple feet in shots too.
Yes.
No, I think we redid those
Well,
ones.
no, you got to pay for those.
You got to pay for those. Those are going to be
Yeah.
on the OnlyFans.
Exactly.
That'd be insane. So what's funny is, so I had this other guy on the podcast, and I know this sounds like a really weird segue talking about OnlyFans to talking about a guy now, but so
You're good.
at Iowa State, they had this information assurance group, whatever. And it's like here's how you do like these small hacking tutorials and stuff. Like here's how you take an executable and you reverse it down into its original programming language, and you kind of see all the different functions within the code. So YouTube's getting like very strict on like what hacking content gets uploaded, but OnlyFans has like, they're like, if you want to show them how to hack into someone's car, screw it, dude.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, so it's like it's much more lenient. So then they just have like a free OnlyFans, go watch like more of their.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's like just using a different platform.
That's so funny.
That's usually for like NSFW stuff.
Yeah.
Sure,
know,
yeah,
it's
Like
yeah.
a random hacking video.
That's great.
It's so, and I made that like a short when he was talking about that. I'm like, so tell me about why you did OnlyFans for your secondary platform. He's like, well, it's funny you say that, you know. So it's
It's all in the terms of service.
It's all in the terms of service. They made us do it.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
smart.
Yeah, it is smart because like, you know, some of their stuff was getting knocked off YouTube.
Mhm.
So it's fun. Even funnier is like they have this OnlyFans manager like in like the board of directors for this group at Iowa State.
That's
It's just so
funny.
silly, but it was like, I don't know. I mean, it sucks that, you know, it's so centered around NSFW content. So it's like, if you guys want to make an OnlyFans, I don't know how Patreon versus OnlyFans
Mhm.
take their part from, you know, people uploading stuff and selling it on there. It's like, you know, you guys wouldn't want to make an OnlyFans page because it just
I
sounds
don't think
weird.
we really have anything
I don't
that
think we
needs
have
to
an
be
audience.
on there. Yeah, no.
It's
I
like, I'll
mean,
sell feet pic if people buy them.
yeah, sure.
Nothing
fuck it.
against it, but
You can
Yeah,
just
did
Venmo
you guys
it.
hear about that guy in Arizona selling feet pics for $4,000 a month?
Holy
see,
shit.
you find the right people to buy it. You can sell like a pair of socks for a good chunk of change. And it's like, I've got socks I'm looking to get rid of anyway. So if someone's going to pay me for it, I will throw it in a cardboard box and I will ship it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
us up.
qualms about that at all.
Doppelgangerqc@gmail.com.
Yep.
reach out for Kyle's socks.
Yeah. If you want
Yeah.
any socks, let me know.
New merch dropping. Kyle's
Yeah.
3-year-old
Kyle's old
socks.
Yep.
No, I guess so. You guys were saying just the 2 new merch items coming out with this on the 4-day run
Yep.
of the tour.
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yep.
Did we talk about that in this rendition? I think we did.
Just
right?
briefly, I think when we cut to commercial for your bathroom break.
Nice.
But it's going to be a maroon T-shirt that's double-sided with our logo right on the like kind of pocket area.
Yeah.
And then on the back, it's going to have the bigger logo on the back at the top, and then it's going to have the Bear Witness artwork with the scales and stuff, just in black and white on the back of a maroon T-shirt.
Are you guys doing long sleeves or hoodies at all?
Yeah, long sleeve, Shinigami artwork. It's going to be white.
How much money for you guys to do a hoodie? I am a slut for hoodies, dude.
We thought about doing a hoodie. We didn't decide to do a hoodie this time.
So originally, when we first released Shinigami, we actually made it
Only because
as a
it's,
sweatshirt design.
yeah,
And we went through
we were
a company that's name I forget, but
we were trying to figure out how to do the like
pay to print.
pay to print whatever, and it just didn't seem. They never sent us the demo.
No, I paid them like the $40 for like the
$40
demos
for a
of both of
demo?
them, just like to see the individual print before you confirm it. Never received it.
That's crazy.
So we're
Yeah.
just getting it. We're just going another route.
Needless to say,
getting it
yeah.
printed
But-
by
yeah,
Nar City. Nar City Custom Printing. Shout out, Andrew.
Mhm.
Shout out Andrew the homie.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think a good one to go over is let's do For Granted, because I know you guys had Aaron Madsen on, but how did that? Because he's vocalist for 1056, isn't he?
Now he is.
Yeah.
Was
Now he is.
it was Betraying the Martyrs at the time,
Mhm.
and
That's another big one.
and well, he's doing both at the time, but now he's just 1056.
They're doing
And-
pretty good.
But yeah,
They're doing
no,
really
they're Betraying the Martyrs just had their last show. They went ahead and called it quits. Aaron actually did a little guest appearance. I think I was seeing
really?
on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah, at their
Yeah.
last show. But 1056 is doing great. They're from France, and
Because they have some members of Novelist, right? Flo.
oh, I
is
think
it
you
Flo?
might be right on that. I'm not really sure.
I'm not
This
Top
is
of my
off
head.
the record.
Yeah, I'm not too sure to be honest.
Not too
with you.
sure. Maybe, maybe not. Novelist, another good band though.
They
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Great band.
They absolutely are.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that was a really cool collab. He wanted to, we were in a group chat with him, and he wanted to do something like along the lines of Humanity's Last Breath and Viljarta. And so I went ahead and wrote some fall riffs and blended it in with our shreddy kind of style. And it came out pretty unique song, I think. I think it worked out really well.
Yeah.
It's one of our most viewed videos.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And he was really easy to work with too.
Yeah.
Since we
yeah.
filmed a music video and we're not going out to England or wherever he's
The fact-
currently located. And so
Yeah.
he asked just, okay, what are you wanting for lighting and film requirements? Like what,
Yeah.
I don't even remember all of the specific questions. Somebody who's been in the game long enough that he knows the questions to ask. And so we just told him. He even approached us asking like lyrics, like if we had anything in mind. And so
he showed us rough drafts of the lyrics and everything. Cause we're an instrumental band and we made the vocal feature guy do a whole song. And like, he was so cool to do that in the first place. Like, it's a whole song you're doing with another band. It's not just a feature. I mean, it is a feature, but you get what I mean. It's more effort than a regular feature.
Yeah.
And he did the video for a very reasonable price.
The video turned out, I think, fantastic for working remote together.
Man. Like, from France to the US.
I think that really shows like just technology nowadays, like how easy I wouldn't say easy, but accessible.
You can
doable.
Make it work.
Like there's, I don't know, I guess rough number, this is totally open if you guys want to answer this, but how much money, I guess, would you say went into that collaboration just as like a total to get that music,
like with making the video, hiring him,
with I guess with hiring Aaron and hiring Joe to do the video on our side, and then hiring it would have been Daniel Gailey to mix that song and mastering. It was probably like, give me a second here, probably like $2,000, but maybe a little bit more than $2,000 altogether,
somewhere around there
altogether for mix video and guest feature. And guest feature video.
But like, take into account that like, if
he's doing
say
a whole
you
song.
remove him from the equation, like we're still going to have most of those expenses just in our own recording, filming videos and stuff like that. So all things considered, it was quite reasonable.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, it turned out great. I mean, $2,000, I feel like that's pretty. To be honest, that's one of my favorite Doppelganger songs just because I really like heavy stuff. So it's like when that came out, I was like messaging Alex. Like, I listened to it the day it came out.
Man, I appreciate that.
It was sick as hell. I'm like, dude, like I said, I think it's in the last take, but just like a little trilling at the end. I think this would be like a great section to play that in the background. So I think I'll probably do that little video in the bottom, whatever. Sick.
That was a fun project to work on. And I really liked that after we had put out the video, Aaron Matz threw a message over to Nick Nocturnal. And so Nick then reviewed the song, like he threw it in his just Twitch stream or whatever. And he happened to have the guitarist and vocalist from Bleed From Within on, which
that was sick.
Like one of my favorite bands that I've listened to since high school has been Bleed From Within. And the fact that they were coincidentally on at that time. So hearing them weigh in about like listening to the song too.
They were really complimentary and really nice.
They all had really positive things to say about it. And
it sounded like they were impressed because like a lot of people, get on that. Like Nick Nocturnal does those streams regularly, I guess, or at least he was at the time. And people will submit their songs, and a lot of times they don't have much to say. It seemed like during the stream, but during ours, they were talking a lot about it.
It was honestly like, as a viewer perspective, I don't know shit about music, so don't take mine to the absolute heart beer. But I absolutely loved the song. Like,
I appreciate that.
It was a really nice switch up from like being like totally progressive. It's just like I have a totally untrained ear. Like I appreciate progressive stuff. Like to me, Alex is one of the best musicians in the Quad Cities, just as far as technicality goes.
Thanks,
it's
man.
Like, and maybe that's just me being naive to really what's in the Quad Cities or who's in the Quad Cities. Because like, but you guys are getting out there and doing it, right?
Sure,
like, you guys are at the shows, and it's like for as long as you guys have been around, I don't know if anyone up to your aptitude is really in the game for the Quad Cities.
That's nice of you to say. I mean, appreciate you. I guess. Our genre is not super popular in the Quad Cities. Like as far as prog metal goes, there's not a lot of prog metal bands. There's a couple. There's Kronos Resistor is a band that my guitar teacher Billy plays in that band, but I don't think they've played shows for a while now. They're a prog metal band though. Dalton Rice is a solo act from the Quad Cities. He's a really good guitar player. I'm going to be featuring on some of his new material that's coming up soon.
Nice.
But appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, there's some quality. There's really good stuff in the Quad Cities. It's just there's not a lot of prog metal.
No.
So there's not a lot of weird, complicated like stuff.
It's adding something new. Like Quad Cities is huge. Like really, it's 4 different cities. So it's like you're taking Rock Island, Moline, Bed North, Davenport,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, hey, I'm gonna do something totally different than everyone else. So it's like it's nice for like people. I mean, there are metalheads in the Quad Cities. It's not as apparent as to what might be people who listen to hip hop or whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of metalheads, and hardcore fans and
a
stuff.
lot of hardcore.
Yeah.
And yep. So it all kind of blends together. We all play, I mean, it's cool that we can hop on any genre show really and kind of blend in sort of, because we got breakdowns, but we also have melodic parts.
Yeah.
And so we're open to playing almost any genre show really. I mean, it's pretty cool. The Quad Cities does have a lot of cool bands, but I appreciate that, man. Yeah. We're different than most of the other bands in the area, I suppose, in that sense.
Yeah, it's definitely something new, and it's like I wish people did more like multi-genre stuff. Like I think State Parks are saying like one of their best reactions at a show was they played up in Minneapolis with like this Latin group, and they opened for them, and it was just totally like they had no idea why they liked them so much, but they were moshing like hell in the mosh pit. And they're like, I don't know, they're calling their new taste of music like shoegaze meets like metalcore.
Cool.
And it's like it's a really nice mix.
Sounds like a dope combination.
It's sick. Like they have like I can show you guys a song after this podcast, but like it's like mixing like more of that atmospheric low type stuff with like some really harder pop punk metalcore stuff.
Okay.
And, like
I could see that working out.
It's I don't know, just taking weird genres together. Like even with your guys stuff, like you guys listen to hip hop, and most people wouldn't think, mix hip hop with metal, and then or even like the Money So Big thing. Like you guys blew up way big on that.
Yeah, that really did a lot for us. That viral video.
Yeah,
it's
a game changer.
Yeah, it got a lot of people that had never listened to our genre at all commenting on our stuff, just being like, "This is." I've never heard guitar used in this way, and like I've never heard this genre, and like this a lot of people saying things like this is the first time I've enjoyed metal, and it's like crazy to hear that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is maybe the instrumental stuff is keeping it open to interpretation for people because there's no vocals on it. So screaming isn't really for everybody, especially.
Correct. My mom will like dig like the instruments. So like if I showed her your guys' stuff, like she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I really like that."
Yeah.
But if I showed her like the 4 Granded music video, she'd be like, "I don't like this."
It's a different song. It's a different vibe entirely.
My mom had the same reaction.
Yeah.
No.
I told her we were doing a song with a vocalist, and she was all excited. And then I sent it to her and said, that's nice.
That's nice." But
disappointment.
You're like, sorry. But I mean, you probably knew what the reaction was.
Yeah. I told her ahead of time. I was like, "You're not gonna like it, but
it's all screaming." So
if you were insistent on watching it, here you go.
Yeah.
I guess speaking of family though, how have your guys like families like interpreted like what you've been putting out?
Oh, I mean, pretty good. I mean, I think it's been definitely exciting for my mom like to see that the viral videos and stuff are getting like these cool opportunities, like hanging out with Ludacris.
Yeah, like that's probably like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
really.
like it's cool to have things like that, so you can like have these little moments. It's like kind of legitimizes like, okay, I've been doing music for like 10 years after high school now, and it actually is turning into something now. So
exactly.
Because like even in high school, I wanted to be in a band and everything. Because like I saw Motley Crue live on their OG final tour, back when before
they've done a couple now.
Yeah, and they're even coming to Iowa State Fair this year.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And that's even Mick Mars is retired now. Their guitarist. I'm like.
He
was the reason why I even wanted to get in the guitar.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guitar player. What do they have? John 5 now, right?
Yep, they have John 5. Okay. Him and Nikki Sixx are really good friends. But it's like, like I was a nerd in high school over Motley Crue. I'm like reading like all the autobiographies and stuff. And
that's
like,
basically how I was with Metallica in high school. Middle school and high school. Yeah.
Metallica's a gateway drug to the metal scene. You're like, I really like, even though like even their new album, it still sounds like Metallica, even though they haven't put out anything in like years.
No, I mean, I'm glad they're still around. Yeah, their first, obviously, everybody always says their first 4 or 5 albums are really like just untouchable, pretty much.
Yeah.
For for the time and also currently, I mean, Master of Puppets blew up again with Stranger Things like
Yep.
a little bit ago. And which is sick for me because I love that riff and I have it ingrained into my DNA at this point. So I just posted that, got a couple thousand likes. It's nice.
Yeah.
You
You're
know?
like, oh, cheap, easy content.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. On an 8-string is what I did. I did
Yeah, I remember that.
8-string version.
You're like, what if Master of Puppets was tuned lower or something?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I love Metallica. Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands. But Motley Crue is another great band. Classics, a lot of killer riffs. Their guitar tone has always been solid as hell.
Yeah, it has.
It just makes you mad. Like, Mick is such a gatekeeper. Like, he has this guy out in Tennessee custom make his pickups, like with custom windings of the copper wire.
And they're probably not available.
Correct.
Yeah.
He gatekeeps the hell out of his tone. I'm like, dude, but it's just the intro to like Kickstart My Heart, just but it's like that at the time, like, these guys had their just stuff dialed in. Like, even Tom Morello, like, he came out with his master class and everything. And he's like, this is like the first time I'm really talking about my tone here. And he just like on all of his guitar pedals, he has basically like a sticky note or like it just drawn on the pedal. Like, this is the setting I use. I do not work outside this realm, but I mean, that's how people create these sounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not like I could listen to any song. I don't even need to look in like who made this. If I hear Tom Morello, I'm like, that's Tom Morello.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of the point to where you like, I have mastered my instrument, where people can listen to something like that's their sound.
Yeah.
I just feel like in the realm of me listening to prog metal, I don't listen to much, but like if I had 1,000 songs on shuffle and Doppelganger came up, like even if it was something new, like I'm sure if I could just put Bear Witness in my library, I could probably I know the fall riff.
Yeah.
Right.
That was pretty
but
obvious.
Yeah, but I feel like you guys have your own sound. Like even with Sun Rhapsody,
man. Well, thanks,
not
dude.
a lot of people put synths in their stuff.
Yeah.
Or like you guys were saying, trumpets.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's sick.
Yeah, Sun Rhapsody was cool because that was like the most Kyle and I have actually split a song down the middle where I like wrote the front half of that song and he wrote the second half pretty much, and I dialed it in a little bit at the end, but that was about it. And that was a big collaboration between us two, so that was a cool song to put out. But like you were saying earlier, sometimes songs just don't hit the algorithm right, and I think that was one of them. It kind of got glossed over a little bit last year in the summer. But also we didn't go very hard with the promotion of it, so that's kind of on us too.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more mild. Like it's very melody focused, and so if you're the type of person that listens to melody and like trying to get like the emotional value out of it, it's very compelling. But it's also like we don't have any
It starts
like,
off
crazy
with a clean
guitar
section.
noises. It doesn't have any like super crazy breakdowns. Like it's all a bit more mild for some of our stuff. So I still love it. I think it's an awesome song.
No, it is.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
But I'll play it in the podcast right now. Then we'll save something juicy for the end here, like Miles God Wants or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess what else we gotta talk? What other songs we got? Sun Rhapsody we just did. Shinigami, yes. I know we talked about that a lot in the first take. I don't think we did much this time. But I guess for music video wise, I think that is definitely one of the most you guys have put out.
Yeah, dude.
Like just like the whole
The snow.
the snow, bonfire, everything, it's like just a really nice contrast there. So it's like, I guess, do you guys have an inspiration for kind of what you wanted to do with like a background? Because I know you guys are saying like, oh, this is just spur of the moment idea, what if we did it outside? But I guess what introduced like a fire idea?
That's probably your idea.
Yeah, I think it was. I think more than anything, we were just looking for variety because. So we made the decision 24 hours before filming
To do it outside.
Yeah, originally it was just going to be in my basement on the couches like we did the I Was God once.
And we always like to have multiple shots of us in different spots so the eye is just like, not bored during the playthrough.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so the Way She Goes, that video was also filmed near my house, but it was in summer when we filmed that one. So at the point that we made the decision, it hadn't snowed yet. And it was on the forecast, but it's like, okay, how are we going to ensure we get some variety so this doesn't look the exact same as The Way She Goes? And so I threw out like, well, what if we have like a big fire or something and you play in front of it? So luckily it started snowing pretty hard that morning that we were filming. You can't really see it in my shots because I'm on top of a hill. And so it was really, really windy.
Yeah.
But ended up working out perfect. It looked like a very snowy winter setting by the time we got everything said and done.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a ton of intentional thought behind it other than just how can we make this look different and
Yeah.
use what's available to us.
Just
Yeah.
try to be resourceful, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think other bands have done like a snowy, at least not any big ones I've seen really do a snowy music video.
Oh, have you seen After the Burial with the snowball fight?
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't.
Is it Behold the Crown?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the
That's one of the more popular.
the one with the pinch harmonics every 2
Yeah.
seconds?
Yeah,
It's that song.
Yeah, like I love pinch harmonics, but I'm like that song. I like if I had to listen to it twice, I'd just be like,
Yeah. No, but yeah, no.
great song though.
It is,
very.
it is.
What I like about it is it's very different, very different than what you typically hear in that genre.
Yeah, but that was a winter video. I think the biggest thing is it's a pain.
It's cold.
Yeah,
It's
it's cold.
Yeah.
We shot Plumbus, and that is in a warehouse setting, but it was an
wasn't really
abandoned grain warehouse,
We filmed it during the winter.
and it was super cold.
It was
we
cold,
were
yeah.
freezing.
It was colder than the one we did outside.
Yeah, there's a
For
couple shots
Shinigami.
where you're soloing and you can see Alex's breath. That was not added in post.
It's-
it was that cold.
I wasn't smoking anything. It was just my breath that you
Just
could
your
see.
breath.
Yeah. And so it sucks
But, yeah.
filming outside. I remember for my shots that I had to take a break, go inside, warm up my hands just because I don't remember how long Shinigami is, but the like 4 minutes of playing it, like I was losing circulation to my fingers. So it's like, all right, I got to go in and warm up again before we do the next filming. So
Yeah,
But I think this new video is going to be our most in-depth video. It definitely is the most work we've put into a video. So I'm really excited to see how it turns out. Joe Gibbs is editing it right now as we speak. So I'm excited to see how it ends up going. We already mentioned this, I think, but this is the first time we've ever had a storyline to our music video instead of us just playing. So
Yeah.
a little something extra.
yeah, I think it means a little bit more to us for this video.
yeah,
So
that's good. Good to see improvement and stuff. Just different ideas come out. You know, it's different
mhm.
art forms coming out. Like this is telling more of a story that you guys have more of a personal connection to. And I think one of the biggest songs that came out recently was "I'd Rather Overdose" by Honest Av or something on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have seen like those broke boyfriend videos.
Man, I don't think I have.
I don't think I
But
have
like this guy put out like an awesome country like song that talks about like losing someone to like a drug addiction and they just pass away. So it's like having a personal connection with a song, I think definitely helps feed the algorithm, especially if other people can relate to it too. And you know, everyone's experienced loss.
Yeah.
Probably by the time they're 18.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like fingers crossed, knock on wood here, not trying to jinx anything, but I think it'll probably have a good turnout. And I really hope it does, considering you guys have put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
I do hope so.
Mhm.
But on the flip side, I will say, like we were mentioning earlier, sometimes the least effort you put into something, I swear it does better for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about the Money So Big video. I just threw that together in like a couple hours and it's our most popular thing that we've ever posted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, I mean, I think the stars are kind of aligning with the artwork, with the dragon weirdness that we discovered the dragons on the scale after we took the picture, and it's like, oh, that's weird that worked out. There's still dragons tied into this thing, and it's the year of the dragon, and
all those synchronicities. It's like banking on that meaning something.
Yeah.
We'll just have to.
Something's gonna pop. Hopefully.
The trick that I've been doing, I did this with Shinigami. Because I've had that viral video of me at Guitar Center or whatever, I reposted that same video with Shinigami in the background, and it boosted the Shinigami views quite a bit.
Really?
So I'm gonna try to do the same thing with Bear Witness and just
Pulling out all the stops.
just screw it, just repost the same thing and be like,
why not reuse content?
yeah. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. I haven't had anybody complain.
And if they do, good.
I mean, that's kind of what TikTok's
To have
built
them
on
comment.
anyway.
Yeah.
Then people will defend you, and then you're just feeding the algorithm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get more people arguing.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that's the trick. Here's a quick social media tip for you: just piss people off enough to the point that they comment, then your fan base will protect you, and then you're good to go.
just don't piss people off in the way that
You turn your fan base
Yeah,
against.
you can't do anything
Because,
actually controversial.
the only reason people are upset with my video is because they think, oh, this guy is full of himself. He thinks he deserves a music career. You know, it's like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I work at Guitar Center to pay rent, and my band sounds like this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it would be cool if I was on tour making a living, but like,
oh yeah,
this is just a funny scenario. Like you're missing the joke,
dude. Even the Acacia Strain, like I'm pretty sure they still have full-time jobs.
Yeah, dude, it's part of the. We play prog metal. We're gonna have full-time jobs, and this is just gonna be like the thing we do because it's our passion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like I feel like if you're not playing like.
There might be a point where we can maybe someday quit our jobs and make enough money going on tour, but like that might be a long time from now. I mean, took us 10 years to get to this point.
Yeah,
it does feel like things are accelerating a little bit.
And it's nice that we've gotten to a point that we're not like the old school rock stars that they're paying for their mansion or their really nice house off of being a musician, but it's nice that we've gotten to a point that the music's paying for itself now. Yeah. Not like when we started out and each of us are forking over $200. It's like, all right, how am I going to pay for rent and also like
pay to put this EP together?
Yeah. Get these songs mastered. So it is nice that
we do see revenue coming from Spotify and stuff from the, ironically enough, from this Money for So Big video that has brought in quite a bit of band money, I will say.
That's really sick.
And so we get to use that on paying our videographers, paying the people who mix our stuff. Joe Gibbs and Nick Riggs.
That rhymes. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yep.
We like to keep our contacts with very short names.
Yeah.
So easy to remember.
That we don't have, our short-term memory is shot, so no. But
the easier it is to remember. You're like, well, we're going to work with you more because we can remember your name.
Yep.
Fair enough. I guess let's move on to, we talked about I Was God Once, Money So Big, For Granted, Shinigami, Sun Rhapsody, bear witness, March 8th. Go listen to it when it drops. If you don't,
pre-save it.
Pre-save it. Yeah. So I guess, how much does pre-saving actually do for bands?
Only a little.
Yeah.
Only a little. I mean, we have like, anytime we ask people to pre-save, I mean, I think the most pre-saves we've ever had for a song were like 30, 50 maybe.
30 to 50. How do you pre-save on anything other than Spotify?
I don't think you can.
I don't even have Spotify anymore.
I don't think you can. Yeah.
I use Tidal now.
I don't think
I'm a snob.
Yeah. No, I don't. Well, I think we get paid more on Tidal, so appreciate it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I think because Jay-Z and Beyonce put that out.
But I don't know. I think it's only Spotify you can pre-save shit on. But yeah, it's not that important as far as I can tell. I think it probably tells the Spotify algorithm, oh, there's people interested in this band. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think it makes a big difference at the end of the day. What does make a difference is how hard you promote it after the song is out. Because like, here's the thing. If you have a video go viral while you're promoting a song that doesn't exist for anywhere to listen to, like if you put a minute of your song that's unreleased and a video goes viral, and you've got 3 million views on that song, and your song isn't available for another 2 weeks, you just wasted 3 million streams you could have gotten on Spotify or whatever because your song isn't out yet.
Yeah.
So promoting it afterwards is way more important to me than like hyping it up before. But of course, we do want to let people know, hey, we've got this on the way.
Yeah.
But pre-saves haven't really done much for us. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, I know people, I know a lot of people, like even that DDK guy that we were talking about in the first take, that he got the idea, oh, my band sounds like this, but I work at, in his take, Best Buy, right?
Yeah.
So he did like every day, same video, same concept or whatever.
And eventually it blew up, right?
I think it did in his favor because a lot of people were like super hyped over it, and plus it's hip hop, more unfortunately relevant genre. But just, I mean, you guys knew what you were getting into.
The name of the game.
Yeah,
progressive
exactly.
metal, but you guys are happy with what you're making. So really, at the end of the day, you'd rather be happy making something that's getting 10 to 100,000 views rather than be like, oh, I feel like I'm being drained making this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But in his case, it worked out for him. But then I've seen on the same thing, this guy was like, oh, my band sounds like this, and he played the most kick-ass guitar solo. And I mean, he got over 1 million likes. I can't remember his name, Sam something. He's over in like the UK. Okay. And his thing came out and only got like 150,000 plays on Spotify.
It happens, yeah.
So it's like, if you, you said, if you,
it's still really good though. 150,000 is pretty crazy. Yeah. That's better than a lot of, that's 3 times as many as our latest like Shinigami and whatever Sun Rhapsody got. But yeah, dude, that's how it goes. Sometimes trying to get people to go from one platform to another is the hardest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Because
it's like there needs to be like a social study on that.
Yeah, because you don't want to stop scrolling. You just want to keep watching the same
That's
app.
The problem.
And also the app wants to keep you on there.
Yes.
They don't want to show you stuff that is asking you to go to a different website.
Yeah.
Like if you say anything like, oh, our new song is out now, link in bio. Like these phrases have been identified by Instagram and TikTok, and they don't show your videos as often as they would without those phrases in the description.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just outright say those things. You got to sneak it into something.
Yeah, you got to figure out a way to phrase it better, like to let people know that you have a song out, and it's hard. It's really hard.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Like what I've been doing with like little podcast for the state parks one, there is no video.
And it's the same thing with podcasts too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what I did, because I'm Gen Z, I have brain rot, or so people call it now, is I put freaking Subway Surfer gameplay footage over it.
Good idea, dude.
And what sucked though is like, so I don't know if that only works.
That's funny too.
Yeah.
You split half the screen with just like.
Oh,
or have you seen those ones where they just hold up the iPad? It's like, my new song is that. Wait, hold on, and then they grab like. They just have the running, just playing on
that Minecraft parkour, the GTA driving videos.
Yeah.
Saved it.
Yeah, saved it. That's all good. No, but like, I don't know. Like, this is the problem. Like, even with, I'm probably pretty sure like any streaming service is experiencing this too. Like, people get so sucked into YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, that this long-term entertainment content is kind of like fading out.
Yeah.
And it really sucks to see that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like Netflix is just, in my personal opinion here, just sucks now. Like they're trying to go, it like a lot of it's just like, to me, sexually charged content that people are like, oh, I gotta get some amount of dopamine out of this. And this is where like, so like Netflix is like adding all this, to me, unnecessary stuff. It's like, if there is a good plot, good content, good actors, everything, like one of my favorite writers in cinematography now is Taylor Sheridan for like Yellowstone, all the pre-sequel, post-sequel, stuff like that.
Okay.
Just because he has very interesting, he does a lot of darker theme stuff, like, or even with Mayor of Kingstown, this is like this whole, like this guy is mayor of the town and stuff, and he tries to get the guards and the gangs in the prison to kind of like not kill each other all the time.
All right.
So it's like he has his hands in this pot, that pot, this pot, and it's a very dark thing when they have shootouts and stuff. So it's like very, very interesting takes where it's like, Hallmark, rinse and repeat the same plot over and over.
Yeah.
And people, I'd say their demographics are mostly girls. They eat it up, so it's like once you find that sweet spot for like content, it's like,
well, maybe that's what we need to do, because our demographic tends to be very largely male
Yeah,
in their
that's true.
late 20s.
Absolutely.
So maybe we need to start taking some notes from Hallmark.
Oh yeah.
Get some female audience
with our music videos.
Yeah.
yeah, just have the whatever song you guys are working on after Bear Witness, just have it be like a Hallmark love story.
Hell yeah.
Just something dumb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At the same time, you don't want to ruin your own creative palette with
For sure.
just trying to chase an algorithm.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like with the Subway Surfer stuff, I'm like, am I really proud of what I'm putting out here? Granted, I hand did the subtitles and everything, watched multiple tutorials, be like, how can I get the subtitles to be great? It's like, you guys have probably seen, like, for subtitles, people do like 1 or 2 words max, and it's just like spam, because people want that quick.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, you got to learn the hack, man. Like,
Yeah,
it
no,
sucks.
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Even just promoting your own stuff. It's like, damn, it's a whole nother skill to learn. It's like, damn, I could practice playing guitar, or I could practice mixing my stuff, or I could practice learning how to edit TikTok videos, or I could learn how to practice lighting my videos, or I could learn how to
There's so
Right.
many things, man.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you almost need like to really get everything. You need like a team of people working with you.
which we do. So that's
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, I have learned to delegate shit to people.
Yeah.
Delegating like different tasks for like this run that we're doing right now. Kyle's helping out with the merch. Like, Kyle's got the merch ideas. I'm putting together a new live rig for our in-ears when we're playing live. And I'm also just, tonight when we get back, I need to go take the van over to, drop it off and get repairs done. And Kyle's taking the bulk of the merch stuff. And, we also have a videographer, like 2 different video guys that we go to, Jake Will and Joe Gibbs, and we trust them with their creative, decisions pretty much 100% of
Yeah.
the time. Almost always works, whatever they come up with.
Yeah.
So we trust them, and having a team of people that are around you that you can just rely on
Mhm.
is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because especially as a 2-man band, I mean, this shit is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with music, it's such a competitive field to be in that there's just everybody likes making music. It's a cool thing. I've yet to meet someone that says they don't like music.
You don't hear it too often. Yeah.
No, and with the nature of where music is at today as a creator and what has to go into everything that's put out, is it takes a team of people to be able to do it consistently at the level of quality that is kind of set as the standard for so many of these platforms.
Yeah.
So it's important to be able to surround yourself with people you can lean on, because as much as music is an art form, it's also a band is a business. Yeah. So you got to surround yourself with reliable people that would be like, if you were a business, these are employees that you can count on. These aren't people you're going to want to kick out.
Right.
Because they're not holding up their end of things. So, and
it's also, you're part of a bigger community as a musician too. Yeah. And like the community of online musicians that I've befriended over the past 3 years or so, after posting more often on Instagram and stuff, has been so beneficial to like the growth of the band. I think just making friends with Kiesel artists and stuff, and making friends with different brands, like, you know, Neural DSP is about to help us out, get a quad cortex for live stuff. And like they, you know, a lot of different, you know, obviously these connections you make over the years just, you know, start to grow on their own, and you make friendships, and that's the most important part, is the community of it all. Like, like what we're doing today, we're collaborating together, and it's like collaborating with people that, you know, make good stuff is also really important, you know, even if it's just hitting somebody up and that you find on Instagram that you really enjoy, you know, just shooting a message being like, hey, would you ever be interested in working together? It's like, that's what you did with us. And, and you know,
that's honestly all it is. And like people that
you just got to ask.
Sometimes you miss 100% of the chance you don't take, really.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Even reaching out to the home team, I mean, they have 300,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Yeah. I just reached out to Brian, their vocalist, and he's like, yeah, dude, love to do a podcast. I'm like,
yeah.
And I had 2 episodes out of the time. And he's like, yeah, dude, we'll do a podcast.
That's sick.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he was in the car, but I'm like, dude, like, and then
podcast is a podcast.
Yeah, podcast is a podcast. Doesn't matter. Just you're talking to people that are in the net couple playing field as you. And like even you guys being friends with Born or Osiris, and God knows who else. I mean, you guys have opened for Polyphia too. Like,
no, I mean, like Cameron from Born of Osiris specifically is a really nice guy, because he did the drums. He programmed the drums for Shinigami, and he has every time we've opened for them like 3 or 4 times in Iowa City, and every time he always comes to say hi to us, and is always really nice, and watches our set beforehand, and like dude is so supportive, not just of us, but like of a lot of up and coming metal bands. He's always sharing bands I've never heard of on his Instagram story.
That's awesome.
Cameron is dope.
Shout out Cameron.
Yeah. But dude, you just never know who you're going to run into when you're at a show, or when you're, you know, making content with people, or when you're just online commenting on people's posts. It's like, after a while, if you're constantly posting stuff and commenting on other people's stuff, you get recognized as the guy who, you made this video, and I see you commenting on this guy's video. I like that guy. I'm going to follow you too. You know, that kind of thing. And and like just collaborating with other artists is important, because you can share your audiences, and you know, it's like the Logan Young thing, and Erin Coburn is another. She's a great guitarist from Ohio, and we did a little video where she soloed on top of a riff I made, and I need to do some more collab videos with some guitar players. I think I've got a couple lined up, but
I think one of the coolest, in my eyes, one of the coolest guys you've worked with is Buried Alive on the self-titled album.
Yeah, that was really cool, because that was like the first time. The self-titled album has Charles Caswell, Buried Alive, and it also has Sarah Longfield from she's from The Fine Constant. It's her name, is her old band name, but she's like a self-titled artist. So Sarah Longfield, she's a really great guitar player. That was the first 2 times I'd ever reached out to anybody to feature. And I was just fans of both of them, and I was like, it'd be cool to get them. And they were both like really reasonably priced, and like they got the stuff done real quick. And
that's sick.
And I just saw them posting about how they were offering guest solos, and I'm like, okay, let me hit them up.
You're like, done deal.
Yeah,
get on here.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. Sometimes you just got to ask. You
just get in there, get your foot in the door. Like, hey, love to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The downside you don't hear about is now you have to play the Charles Caswell solo live.
That might be part of the reason why we're not putting that in the set list. Yeah.
That'd be sick if he guest featured on some long-term future show. He's like, hey, we're in the area.
He'd have to relearn it, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he could. That guy's
he's a monster.
Yeah.
Just an absolute maniac.
There's another. His stuff is like an internet project too.
Yeah.
I don't think they play shows. But
didn't he get his wife in on?
Yeah, she
bass.
plays bass for stuff now.
Yeah,
cool.
she's amazing.
She's getting some chops.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really pretty cool combo.
Yeah. I think that was a pretty recent appearance she made in the Buried Alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like really neat.
It's probably been a couple years now.
I feel like it's
2, 3.
Yeah. But I mean, they're doing really well. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really neat. But I guess I don't know we're rolling here. Hour 45.
We're getting up there.
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up here. But I guess you guys want to go over the show days again? What do you want to plug here before we close out?
Yep. So we're going to be playing with By the Thousands on their upcoming tour. We're on 4 days from March 19th until March 22nd. So that's going to be Rock Island, Illinois. Is going to be our Quad Cities kind of hometown show. It's going to be a Tuesday night, 19th, and then we're going to be going up to. Let's see here. I believe it is Fargo, North Dakota the next day. And then the next day we're going to be South Dakota, Sioux Falls, I believe.
That sounds right. I've heard that in your mouth today.
Yeah. And then I do believe Nebraska is going to be Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska, big town.
Those are, the first 4 shows that we've played in almost 2 years. And
go out and see them. If you don't, you're a hater.
That's exactly right.
Yep. You're dead to us. You don't show up.
Unfollow us. No, don't do that.
Don't actually.
Please.
Don't actually.
Please. That's all we have.
Actually go like, if you guys aren't going to a show, you are obligated to like every single post on the Doppelganger page on Instagram.
No, but it should be a good time. Those shows will be fun.
Yeah, come hang out.
We new music March 8th. New song, I should say. New song and video March 8th. Bear Witness. It's gonna be the name of that song. If you guys have followed us and you've seen us on YouTube, it's called Fall. We turned it into a song. It should be pretty heavy. I think people are gonna like it.
Yeah, and, I know. I'm already ready. I'm like March 8th needs to come.
Yeah. Yep.
Bring an extra pair of pants with you.
And then Tim Gorman is going to be featured on drums for those shows. He's a fill-in drummer that we've got. He's from Michigan, and he's a really promising young drummer, 22 years old, really talented guy. He's posted covers of our stuff on YouTube if you want to go check him out. It's Tim Gorman Drums on Instagram. He's posted covers of Plumbus, The Way She Goes, and I Was God Once, so go check him out. I think that might be about it. Shout
out, Tim. One more thing for you guys. I guess now being 10 years in, what advice do you have to the younger musicians trying to get in the scene?
Well,
adapt.
Yeah.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah, you gotta keep with the changing times.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, consistency and just paying attention to what's going on around you and what's popular, and like being willing to adapt to new social medias like TikTok. That really helped us. And just being willing to put yourself out there, I guess, really is what it's all about, which is something that I haven't always been super comfortable with, but after you get on stage for like 10 years, you get used to it.
You're just like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
But you got to be true to yourself with the music you're writing too, because especially with, I know we talk about adapt and like the newer forms of social media and such, but if we weren't writing music that we enjoyed writing, it's hard to say if we'd still be around, because eventually if you're not loving what you're doing and you're not enjoying and taking accomplishment out of the music you're putting out, that can only last so long before you get burnt out and it just becomes a job to you. So
I think we can both agree you definitely have to do it. You have to find the right people.
Yes.
Because Kyle and I got really lucky that we were just friends since middle school. And, it's been obviously with, you mentioned earlier, we used to have 6 people in this damn band. So it's hard to find people that are going to be willing to make a long run, like 10 years, with you. And I think it took us a while to find our stride with the instrumental sound.
Yeah.
And now that we have that, and I think everything is looking to be promising with the future.
Exactly. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.